Now you can hear me. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Checking one other thing. Okay. I knew that was going to happen, so I had to check. So I am Heather. We come to you live each and every day, Monday through Thursday. So you get to experience Luminess, what we're about, how to use it. I obviously start with no makeup on and go through and put the makeup on. And so you do get to see like what's in our starter kit, what you get, how to start. So this is great for if you just bought a system. Maybe you're waiting for it to come in. Maybe you've had it and you haven't started using it. Any scenario is wonderful. Hello, Cindy. How are you? I do want to make sure. Hey, Jacqueline. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, I do. Okay. Wanted to do lashes today because if you saw what I labeled this, I labeled it get camera ready or day ready. It doesn't matter. With Luminess, you're always going to be camera ready because it is amazing makeup. And so if you are a makeup lover and you're like, I can never wear enough makeup, and you're like, just pile it on, keep it going, you're going to love airbrush makeup because airbrush makeup covers anything that needs to be covered. It's about making passes, but it's not going to feel heavy or cakey. And that's the big thing with airbrush makeup. If you're doing it correctly, it's not going to have that way down, gross, heavy feel that you would get with traditional makeup, with some traditional makeup. We have our airbrush in a can foundations that I love. They are amazing. Hey, Jeannie, how are you? And so they also feel like airbrush makeup. And so if you want it, we'll do a live on that as well. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. But they are amazing. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. I am going to put lashes on. I'll use my glow. I'll use my silk foundation. What else should I use? That's shade 2. I'm going to get out my, hey, Lori. I'm going to get out my Nude and Naughty palette. That is, if you don't have that, it's a staple. Yes, it's live. Hey, Andrea, good to see you. Miracle Veil. Yeah, that would be a good name for it. Sorry, I need my caffeine. Oh, Tanya, I'm so glad you said something. Okay, Tanya, I love when people have problems and they come out and tell me. Okay, so Tanya just said, mine looks spotty and awful when I apply it. Am I doing something wrong? So yes, but it's fixable. And don't feel alone. A lot of people have that situation happen when you first start. So I'm going to go over how to apply it. And so you'll have a better understanding. The other thing, Tanya, what I would recommend is in the link in the description below, there's a link for my class. And I have classes on Mondays and Wednesdays at noon Central Time. And I highly recommend taking a class because I go into more detail on how to practice and how to utilize it. I get to see you so I can make sure that you have the right shades, have the right colors. So it's a little more 101, if you would. So it's a lot easier. So definitely I recommend that. But yeah, everybody, if you can think back when you started traditional makeup, you probably weren't an expert the very first time you did that. And so this is retraining our brains into thinking Luminess, into thinking airbrush versus traditional. We know that this is a different way of putting it on, but what most people do is they get this, they're like, woo, they're excited, it's going to do all this stuff, but they put it on like traditional makeup. That's obviously what we would do because that's all we know. And so let's go over some, I'll kind of touch on those points as we go along, okay? I am going to use, I'll use the Cut One palette. I need to take this one home. Uh-oh, I lost my Everybody looks blurry. All right, there we go. Got out of the range, and so it makes them blurry. Okay, so the very first thing, well, actually, let me go back because we have this question pop up. So this is one of our starter kits. This is the Breeze starter kit. And whether you have the Breeze, the Icon, the whatever you have, it doesn't matter. It comes with makeup. It comes with the 2 bottles of foundation and then Love and Blush. If you have the Icon, if you have the Breeze, the very first thing you want to do is charge it. And you want to charge it overnight, charge it one time overnight. And then you're only going to charge it once a week. So pick a day, Saturdays, Sundays. Sundays are my day to charge them. But you don't want to keep it plugged in, and you don't want to charge it every day. Just once a week, charge it. But you have to pick a day because then you'll forget. So there you go. All right. So when we're airbrushing, the main things that you want to remember is you always want to be 4 finger widths away. So you make the number 4, put one of these on your face, put your index finger on your face, and then the tip of the airbrush to the pinky. That is the distance you want to be away. So when you're moving this around, you want to keep it at that distance. Couple things happen when we first start. As soon as that air starts blowing, we either end up doing this because something's blowing at our face, or we come in too close because we're used to touching our face. So watch yourself in the mirror, just move the stylus around, move the Breeze around, and then every so often check to make sure you're 4 finger widths away. It will become second nature to you. It doesn't matter what's in my hand. I have a nail file here. I know where that distance is. And so it will become second nature, but watch yourself in the mirror. And when you're moving this around, it's not a free for all. You're not just blah, blah, blah. You're moving around. Just like if I took a brush and I was buffing my makeup on, I would do this. It's the same exact thing, okay? The air, I'm going to blow some minds right now. The air is your brush. Airbrush, right? So wherever you feel the air is where the makeup's going. Second thing I ask people to do is put water in it and airbrush water on your face. We want to barely pull down on this trigger. You will never pull all the way down on the trigger unless you're cleaning it or blowing it out. Okay. Now I'm going to start with Glow and put a couple of drops. Turn my system on. Now I'm going to go underneath my eyes. Now, if I spray too heavy under my eyes, it's going to enhance my wrinkles and crinkles. It will look white because we see how light this glow is, that it'll look white under my face or under my eyes. So I'm going to spray super light. You also want to make the movements first. I can hear it coming out. That's the other thing you'll learn if you're practicing with water, is you will be able to hear when the product's being released or the water's being released. You can tell a difference if too much is coming out or if the right amount is coming out. If we were all in a room and everybody was airbrushing and I closed my eyes, I could tell you who was spraying too hard and who was out of makeup. Okay. So those are things that you're going to pick up. So right now, I'm going back and forth. Now also passes, that's what's giving you coverage. So I don't try to cover. I just make passes. So this one looks good. I'm going to go back here. And I only put 3 drops. Now also notice I'm kind of going a little bit of everything, everywhere. I'm doing a little bit of pre-coverage where I'm going in and hitting those spots. Do a little bit on my eyes too, that I know I'm going to need more coverage. Oh, guys, y'all are bringing the questions. I love it. So Liz on YouTube is asking, what's the difference between glow and concealer? So it's not an easy question, Liz. I'm just kidding. It is, but it's a little more in depth than that. That's another good question, Andrea, and I'll answer that in just a minute. So if you heard me say I'm using Glow as my pre-coverage, I don't call it my concealer. You know how traditional makeup, we use our concealer first, right? Okay, that's what I figured. So this is the other thing. Let me back up and say, sometimes when people order, depending on when you order, they order special deals, special promotions, like a gift with purchase, or you can get extra makeup, like a lot of different products for a low cost. And so, so people order because it's a great deal. This is where you'll be able to tell I'm a makeup artist and not in sales. My big thing, when you first start out, get the foundation down. Get the art of airbrushing down. That's why I always recommend my class Mondays and Wednesdays at noon. I always recommend my class because I will go over, I'll ask you what your questions, problems, situations are, and then we go over all the products that you did receive and what to use, how to use them, okay? Some of them I will tell you, hold off on, don't use that yet. Let's get this down first. Everybody's skin is different, okay? Liz is like, there's a primer. I don't know what to do. And so I can kind of ballpark it for you, but in the beginning, I just want you to get the foundation down. Once you get the foundation down, it doesn't matter what's in here. You know how to airbrush, right? And yes, practice before. This is the best thing. Practice before you go to bed. You're washing your face anyway. And so if you practice before you go to bed, then it doesn't matter. You don't want to practice the morning you have a big meeting, right? We want stress-free practicing. But yes, and in my class, I do go over in detail different ways to practice so it starts clicking in our brain how to airbrush. So let's go back. I say pre-coverage because there's a lot of products that help with pre-coverage, conceal. I'm using Glow. Glow is a highlighter, but I'm using Glow as coverage. It has pigment in it. I'm not touching my skin, so I'm not wiping anything off when applying it, right? We do that with traditional makeup. So I'm just applying the Glow, but Glow is a highlighter. I like a soft highlight underneath my eyes. So using Glow, it covers my dark circles, but I'm also using it as a concealer because I have broken capillaries here, my nose, I get red, rosacea. So I'm using to go in and cover that. If I choose to use Glow as my pre-coverage, I don't use anything else. I'm not going to go from Glow to a concealer to a color correct. No, we don't have to use, not only are you using less drops and less makeup, we don't have to do as many steps. Again, not touching our face. Not touching our face. So we're not wiping anything off, okay? So whatever you're putting on is coverage. If it has pigment in it, it's coverage. You get coverage by making passes. If I need more coverage, I make more passes. If I need less coverage, I don't have to make as many passes. So it's whatever coverage you want because you're in control of that, okay? So if you're new, Liz, the concealer you probably have is eraser. An eraser is very similar in coverage or color. However, in the beginning, when people get to airbrushing, when they're starting to airbrush, chances are you're spraying too heavy, bottom line. That's the one thing I always have people check is you're spraying too heavy. So sometimes this being so white can come out, and I have some left on here, can come out like this if you're spraying too heavy, okay? Tap it out. Always tap it out, tap it out. so if it looks like that on you when you're spraying too heavy. Okay. So pick one. Now, if you're looking at eraser and you're like, ooh, that's super light, you can mix a couple of drops in with it and back bubble. And you know how to back bubble. Just put your drops in here, air on, block the air, and lightly pull back on the sugar. And that's going to mix those colors in there for you. Lightly pull down on that sugar. And you can mix those colors and it tones that eraser down. And then you can airbrush that on. So I'm covering a lot, Liz. Please book a class because it makes a lot more sense because I can go over every single thing. If you have, we'll just kind of change this up. If you have the Rose Mist Serum, this one, is that it? Yeah. The Bulgarian Rose, that is amazing. One, it smells divine, but that's something you can use before airbrushing, and that's going to help prep your skin. You can also use it as a night treatment. Okay. So there's no color to it. It's a rose serum mist. You do airbrush that on and you can that one you can do a free for all. I used to use it a lot at night. And after I washed my face, I would airbrush that on. However, I love it as a moisturizer and as a primer, and I use that first. The second step I'm going to go to is pre-coverage. So that's when you pick what coverage you want. I know a lot of you have the moisturizer primer. I would hold off on that right now. That is a little thicker. You can use it as a night treatment if you would like, but it is a little thicker. And so if you're new, I tell people to hold off on that for right now. There is a little bit of moisturizer in your moisturizer primer in your foundation. But if you use the Bulgarian Rose Mist first, you can go straight to your pre-coverage. Pre-coverage can be a concealer. It can be the eraser. It can be X Out. It could be glow. It could be Prism color correctors. It could even be a foundation. Okay. So it's whatever you're using as coverage, but it's one of those, not all of them. Okay. Because right after that, after pre-coverage, we're going to another step. Okay. Hold on. I am digging this live because people are asking questions and I love it. If you do not charge your breeze, if you don't use your breeze for a week, my first question is why? Why are you using your breeze? But the second, if you plug it in and that light is still solid, then no, Andrea, you don't have to charge it again. And Liz is like, my kit came with several stuff. I don't know what to do it. And there's a primer. Hold off on the primer until you get the art, but you can use the primer as a night treatment or the Bulgarian Rose. Linda said, I just got one. Yay. And she's a newbie. We have some newbies on here tonight. I love it. Broken capillaries or broken blood vessels? They're like little bitty, red marks. So it's not a bruise, but like little redness. Let's see. Tanya said, maybe I should have ordered the system instead of so Tanya, you ordered this one? Wait, hold on. Let me get this one. Girl, that one is the bomb. The bomb. So you can have, I have both. And I will tell you, like, I'm in love with this. So no, you should have ordered it. But that could get you work, like if you use that and you're like, oh my gosh, I love it, then we can get you into a system. Mother's Day is coming up. You know, you can start dropping the hint, right? Tanya, come back tomorrow because I will do this tomorrow. I love this. I use this interchangeably with the airbrush system. And people always ask, well, why'd you come up with a traditional foundation? Well, who do you want to come up with a traditional foundation? An airbrush company. That's what we're comparing it to. We're not comparing it to other traditional makeups that we have. we're comparing it to Airbrush, and it is a flawless look. Wow, this is an awesome live. My classes are Monday and Wednesday at noon. Hold on. It is in the description. But I'm going to pop the link on here. Let me get to it. Copy. Now I lost my live. Hold on. Okay, here we are. I'm going to, this is the link. That's the link. So you can book a class. They're Mondays and Wednesdays at noon Central Time. And so book a class with me. It doesn't matter if you have a system, if you're waiting for it to come in, if you used it, haven't used it, thinking about buying a system, it's all beneficial. If you're interested in buying a system, I can tell you what shades to buy, what kit to buy. So I'll go over all of that. And it's one that you just sit there and you'll listen. I go over every, I ask every single person what questions, problems, situations you're having, and listen very closely to this. I 100% guarantee you, and I'm about to sneeze for dramatic effect. Sorry. Okay. I 100% guarantee you I will solve your problems with Airbrush, not in life, but with Airbrush. I 100% guarantee you that you will have a new outlook on Airbrush, because I'm going to tell you how to use it, how it starts clicking in our brain so we understand it. So definitely do that. I love people that are excited about getting it, like love it. And again, Tanya, come in tomorrow because I will show you this, but keep checking and keep watching, because I do show you other things, other products, all of that. Okay. The 1 hour difference for me. So the classes last an hour. They really do. They last an hour. A lot of people will do the class while they're at work, because a lot of times you can kind of work and listen. The only thing I'll need you, I just got a little bit dizzy right now, I think from that sneeze. The only thing I would need is for you to tell me what shades you have and what situations you have, like what problems. It's on Zoom. So if you need to, I'm telling you how to sneak it at work. If you need to, there's a chat function as well, obviously. And so if you have questions and you can't talk, you can do that. So, and then you can mute yourself if you needed to. So there you go. Okay. But if you hit that link and pick, it'll show you the time. So, all right, let's keep going. Oh my gosh, our time's almost up. And then also, let me tell you guys as well, we do have Dorothy, we call her Heather 2.0, on LUMINESS Live. If you go to Facebook and type in LUMINESS Live, join the group, Dorothy is there. And I've known her, so just a little bit of background. I've only been airbrushing for about 25 years. There's nothing you're going to tell me that I don't know. Dorothy and I work together on a lot of different projects. I've known her for 20 plus years. And she's on our Facebook Live, LUMINESS Live, 9 to 5. So she plays different videos to explain how it works or whatever. But when you go, you find the current live, the one that's actual live, and you can ask her questions. So if you need answers right away, go to LUMINESS Live. Dorothy is there to answer questions. She can even bring you, if it's a color matching thing, she can even bring you to a room and you can find color. So we give you tons of ways to figure it out, guys. We're not, okay, thanks for buying our product. Bye-bye. No, we have so many different ways. We even have a beauty expert line that you can call and talk to somebody, not customer service. They are actually beauty experts. We have, and yes, I'm powdering right now. That's another little feature that we can do. I'm just powdering with a translucent powder. I can go over that later, but we're going to keep rolling. And we can, you can call and talk to them. We have a lot of our ladies are not computer savvy, where they don't have Facebook. Some people just don't like Facebook. I don't necessarily disagree with that. But you can go in, you can call them. You can call, if you call our customer service number, there is, I think it's option 6, where you can press that. Hold on, I'm running out of soft rose blush, and I'm seeing if I have any left. Nope, I don't. But you can call and speak to somebody, and it's training. It's not customer. It's not customer service like, hey, let me help you with your bill. They're beauty experts. They're going to help you with airbrushing, and it is a phone call. Okay. I'm putting, is this empty too? I'm empty. I'm out. All right. So now I'm just going to see if I can use this amount. And I'm using my blush first. Now, if you know anything about our blush, you know that our blush, oh, it's not going to be enough. Our blush is super dupery high pigmented. And so a little bit goes a long way. You only need 2 drops. I just did a little, and you can already see some of the blush coming up. I'm going to need more blush, though. Let me shake this one up. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Okay, hopefully that'll work. Put it a little bit. This is tulip, I think. Now, yes, how can I do blush first? Because airbrush makeup goes on differently. It's like little pixels all over our face, right? So I'm just getting the coverage, getting the shade I want by making passes. The more passes, the more coverage, the more intense shade you get, okay? I probably need, I'm going to go get, I do have makeup waiting for me that I need to go get. Okay, so now now you can see that blush coming up. Okay, 2 drops, that is it, especially if you're lighter skin. If you're darker skin tone, you can get away with a little bit more, because lighter skin tones, it's going to show up quickly. Darker skin tones, color doesn't show up as intense, which is a benefit for the darker skin tones. All right, so now I went from blush to my foundation, and all I did was a blowout, meaning I did pull back all the way, and you can see my tissue right here. And I blew all that color, and then I'm adding the foundation in, staying 4 finger widths away, not all the way out here, staying 4 finger widths away. I'm going to start making my passes. And I usually make 1 complete pass. Okay, make 1 complete pass, and then most of my coverage is going to be right in here. I want to make sure that my broken capillaries, everything's blended, there's no redness. I'm blending that blush off a little bit more. And see how it's nice and blended and softer because of how airbrush makeup goes on. Now, you'll also find doing it this way, chances are you'll only need about 5 drops total, because I'm blowing the rest of that foundation out. I don't need it. Because, guys, think about this. I'm doing a touchless application. When we do traditional, and we go in and put one thing on, then we put another thing on, then we put another thing on, it's wiping some of that away. Some of those steps are not necessary, but we end up wiping things away that we just put on. And it never makes sense to me. But anyway, okay, so let's keep moving. I'm going to use a blending brush, and now I'm going to do my eyes. With airbrush makeup, you can do eyes first if you want to. But I am going to go in with traditional makeup. I'm going to go in with a lighter brown. And this is just a very, if I was doing, I do have to film a video later. And so if I was getting camera ready, if you're going to be on camera, you want to make sure to do something that's matte. I can keep going. And then I'm just brushing this. Notice that I don't have to brush super hard. I don't have to like rub it in. All of our stuff is very high pigmented. Oh, how'd that go away? A little bit does go a long way. Sorry, guys. Where's my camera? I don't know why. There we go. Okay. And then I can go in with, I'm going to grab a paper towel again. Wipe off my brush a little bit. Then I can go in with, actually, let's go in with a flat eyeshadow brush. And I can put a little pop of color right on that lid. All right, there. And you have to make that face when you're doing it. Show us some love, guys. I want to see some hearts and thumbs up. My rule on sad faces or angry faces is if you're going to make them, if you're upset about something, you have to stay and tell me. We used to talk about that too a lot. And because my eyes are getting hooded, I'm lifting it up just a little bit. Lovely gravity. Gravity, fighting gravity. All right, and now I'm going to go in with a darker shade just to pop up that crease a tish. So if you're like frustrated and you don't know what to do with airbrushing, more than happy to leave an unhappy face, but you have to stay and tell me the problem. Because again, I'll be able to solve it for you. Been doing this so long that there's pretty much nothing you can tell me or ask me that I haven't heard. Bottom line. All right, so now I'm going to go in with an angled brush, and with that medium dark shade, I'm using eyeshadow as my liner. Oh, I love Marianne sent a smiley face. I love it. And we've been doing these lives for years. So I've had it all, guys. I'm just going to tell y'all. I've had it all. Hold on, let me see if this works. Oh, now it came back in. Woo. All right, now notice that I didn't line the top. If I wanted to, I could line the top with an eyeshadow, or I could use Persuasion eyeliner or whatever I was using at the time. However, I'm doing lashes. So we're going to use the Lash Lure, which is our magnetic lashes, which is the bomb. If you've ever wanted to do lashes, if you've ever tried to do lashes, thought about lashes, this is the one you need to do. They're so easy. I am going to swipe just to make sure I don't have any fallout. And I'm just swiping with a brush that I use powder only. I'm going to do a little bit of contouring. I've done, for the summer, I tend to do more blush contouring than actual contouring, except right here. Have to get rid of those bad boys. I know, Cindy, we are working on the mascara, baby. I knew you'd be happy about it. We are looking at we have to find a different vendor, I think. From what, I don't know anything. I just do makeup, but they are working on it. All right, so now I just did a little bit of contouring. I like to go in and contour around my hairline and a little bit right underneath my blush. But I have been using a lot of blush contouring where I kind of bring it up a little bit more. I think it's because I'm not as dark as I want to be right now for the summer. And I felt like I was looking too dark. So that's why. All right. So now I'm grabbing the Lash Lure and I'm going to use, this is the 2-in-1 adhesive. So it's an adhesive and it has magnetic properties in it. And so it does all the work for you guys. It does. So I'm going to take this out. I think I'm going to use the Diva lashes. We have Diva Glam and Natural Lash. You can use them several times. Many times. And the glue goes on like an eyeliner, like a liquid eyeliner. So I have it in here. I'm going to look down and just tickle my lash line. You can do it as thick or thin as you want. I just try to do it right at the lash line, end to end. And then take your lash. We do have the little holders for it, but find that you don't always need that. And then I have to come up and over my lash because my lashes on the ends flip up too much. So I have to come up and over. And then the rest just goes in place. Hold on, I have an up close mirror that I need to get to make sure. Yep. Oh, it's too far. It was too far in. So I'm going to go bring it out to this edge. There we go. Felt like that was a little bit too close. Bam. Bam. Bam, bam. And then I'm going to bring this down a little bit more. Bam. Bam, bam. That's all you can say. I mean, honestly, that's really all you can say. I feel like this one, hold on, I might have to get the little thing out. I feel like, ow. Push that down a little. All right. That's it. Bam. Liz says on YouTube, I also have the original Luminess system at home, but the Breeze intrigued me because it is portable. Yes, girl, yes. But since I haven't airbrushed in a long while, I'm a bit rusty. Liz, you'll find it's like riding a bike. You'll pick it up. You'll be like, oh yeah. But I will tell you that between the Breeze and the original system, it's a little there's a learning curve there. So it's probably okay that you haven't airbrushed in a while because the Breeze system, applying it is a little bit different. It is a little more user friendly. So I mean, it does take some getting used to if you were using the other system. I feel like this glue is kind of dried out. Probably need to get another one. See if I had any. Yeah, this one's dried out. Just a pinch. I wonder if I have some in here. Hold on. All I carry in my makeup bag now is lips and glue. I do have my magnetic glue. Oh yeah, this one's better. Okay. We gotta go over this. All right. Grabbing the lash. I will use the little holder because you just put it like there. Let me watch this. Let me see if I can go this way. Hold on. I can see that I need to wipe it off. Some of my, it went on my eyelash. So I just wiped off some of that glue. Let me look. I'll just change hands. Do it this way. The big thing when putting these on is make sure it's all the way to this end. You always want to make sure it's at the end of these lashes, because you don't want it all the way to the inside. You want a little bit of wiggle room there, like a little bit of space. You don't want to bring it all the way in. So always have it here first. And my lashes go that way. So I'm kind of brushing them where they stay. And then I'm just going to push them in to make sure they're on. And then Liz says, when I had the first system, it came with accessories. It was 2 eyeshadows. Sure, you're trying to airbrush. So you can airbrush eyeshadow with the Breeze as well. Again, it's all practice, guys. The more you use it, every time you use it, you're learning, okay? Again, the air is your brush. So if you come in closer, in my class, what I tell people is when you put some drops of foundation, eyeshadow, whatever you're using to practice, do it on a paper towel. Airbrush a paper towel, but play with it, because we're able to see it on the paper towel. So if you come in close, it gets more precise. So when you're doing airbrush eyeshadow, you can come in a little closer because it is going to be more precise. Make sure I like that. Okay, because I want to show y'all this little trick too. When I did this one, I pulled it off because it wasn't all the way to the end. Couple of things. And see how you can see, like, it either lifted up some of that eyeliner, but there's like a bump right there. Can y'all see that? You can either go in with Persuasion eyeliner and brush right over it, or I'm just going to add more glue and go right over it. And then I can go in with either tweezers. I like these because, remember, the lashes have magnets in them. And so if you use metal tweezers, what happens? All right. Wham. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And then now I'm going to go in with some lips. Thank you. This is just a random lipstick that I like because it's neutral. And so it's similar to our, which one? Dusty Rose. So it's very neutral. It's not too much. It flows with everything. And I always like to look in the mirror and then, okay, is there anything I need to add? Could I go smokier on my eyes? Could I do this? So you can always look and add more if you wanted to, and have that final look to see what you need to do. So there you go. All right, guys, we went long. Normally these are about 30 minutes. This one's long. Thank you. I've never. Oh, Liz, the magnetic lashes are easy. The trick with the glue that we have, they're glue and magnetic properties in it. But when you're applying fake lashes, look down, because that stretches your eye how it needs to be stretched to apply them. So you can do it. I promise. Book a class. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on this long one. I love it. Y'all were asking some great questions, so I always stay on if y'all are asking some great questions. So, all right, guys, I will talk to you soon. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.